So welcome back to the YouTube channel at Travis Brown Coaching. Here we talk about performance, transformations, Hyrox, running, etc. Now, this vlog is off the back of Hyrox Warsaw. Now, I have actually deleted a lot of the footage that I took prior to racing Warsaw because I wanted to change the vlog. Now, normally I'll talk about my preparation, my organization, my training, and ultimately the grand scheme of it is it doesn't change. Like, my coaches handle my taper week. I always start to carb up on a Wednesday or say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday if I'm racing Saturday. So 3 days before, I always increase my water to around 4.5 to 5.5 litres, lots of electrolytes. I eat the same breakfast every time. I wear the same kit every time. I wear the same trainers, the same calf sleeves, the same shorts. Is basically always the same. And I was going to take you with us. I was going to film it, and then I realized that the vlog became the same vlog. So what I wanted to use this for is I wanted to talk about the way that the race transpired. I wanted to just keep this very raw, very blunt, give you an insight. Now, Hyrox Warsaw did not go in the way that I anticipated. Now, the title of this video is Hyrox Warsaw is the side quest, the side chick. It was never part of the big plan. It was just, I was going, I wanted to experience a stadium, I'd booked it, but after transfer or moving over to pro kind of in Glasgow and then wanting to sort of live there and move into that sort of realm, that became much less important to me, Warsaw. Like, I cared less about it. I said to my coaches I didn't want to taper properly for it. I didn't necessarily want to change too much because we've got Olympia in what is now just under 3 weeks and was 3 weeks after the race in Warsaw. So there was much more of a raw approach to it. I wasn't too fast. I wasn't too, obviously I wanted to go and do well, but ultimately that was the plan. Now, what actually transpired in the lead up to Warsaw was just a really different experience to one that I've had before. I was not excited for it. I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't buzzing for it. I was just going towards it. My legs hurt. I felt like I had poor recovery. I was tired. I wasn't excited. And it's really unlike me to have that sort of feeling and feel to race, because I love racing. It's one of the reasons I love Hyrox, because I love competing. I love having the pressure on myself. I don't mind doubles because I love trying to not help someone in a charity case, but it's like I want to compete and perform for them as well. So for me to go into a race like this was really abnormal. Now, we flew out from Stansted on Thursday morning. It was a really great trip. It was easy. It was fine. There was no issues. Everything went swimmingly. Flew out well, got there. We both went to the gym and did a bit of a shakeout session. So a run and a bike. I opted to run first because I've been having some problems with my legs. My quads are achy, and then bike after. And that went fine. That was great. And then Friday we went, well, I'd say sightseeing, but we didn't really do much, to be honest. It was very chilled. Walked around the old town a little bit, grabbed some food, went over to Westfield because the weather was awful. It was rainy, it was horrendous, it was cold, it was bitter. It was disgusting, really, like the weather. So we didn't do much Friday. Then we sat and watched Sherlock, basically in the hotel room, which was probably one of the best preps I've had to a Hyrox in terms of the chilled nature, no stress, very, very calm. But ultimately, it was quite a subdued approach to race. I wasn't feeling good. I didn't want to do it. So the next morning we wake up. So Saturday morning, I raced at 8:20. So I started at 8:20, which would have been 7:20 with the time difference. Got up at about 6, I think, maybe a bit before that. Straight up, same routine, water straight in, 750 ml, followed by 750 ml of electrolytes, a 500 ml Monster, a couple of pots of porridge and some orange juice, 2 glasses. So some nice easy carbs to get in. Oats, which actually after watching a vlog from Danny Ray, oats may not be the best option. So depending on some money over the next couple of months, I'm going to look to sort of start working with a nutritionist to improve that prep. But even still, I did not want to do this. We got an Uber, went to the stadium, walked in the stadium. Amazing, by the way. What an event and an atmosphere. But for the first time ever doing a Hyrox, it was cold. It was freezing cold, doing the warm-up in my hoodie. Legs still hurt, head wasn't in it. Now, normally I'm the guy jumping around, bouncing around at the line. I love the start zone. I love the tunnel. I love the pressure. And I just didn't feel like any of it. I said to Beth only a couple of minutes before my race, I said, I could literally pull out and not care here. I don't want to do it. Obviously, if anyone knows me, or most people watching this will know me, knows that's not really, I would never quit anyway, but I could have done. And it was really unlike me. And I spoke to like a sports psychologist yesterday about it, and it was like just really abnormal. So whether it's pressure, fatigue, I don't know. We won't know until we race again. But the reason I'm telling you this is because I think there's a perception that everyone goes into every race feeling amazing, buzzing, exciting, or that you have to feel your best to perform at a new level. And what I wanted people to take away from this is I didn't have a good week into it. My prep's been great. My training has been good. To clarify, it's a mindset thing that I'm talking about. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't want to do it. And yeah, like for anyone that hasn't known, you probably living under a rock, because the race went really, really well. And I tell you what's really interesting about it is I was really grumpy through it. I say grumpy, I was just maybe in the zone, very focused. I'm a very absent athlete. I don't think about a lot. It's one of the reasons I got away with doing the Ironman without too many troubles. I was just kind of very chilled, but I wasn't having a good time. I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't embracing it. I was racing in one of the most amazing venues that I'll ever get the opportunity to race, in the fastest wave of the men's open, and I just wasn't enjoying it. But one thing I did is I stayed calm and I stayed focused, and I mostly stuck to the game plan. I stuck to the product. I stuck to what I said I was going to do. And that really paid off, because I went into the first run knowing it was a short run. I wanted to keep it nice and steady. I wasn't going to go and blitz it first into the skier. I didn't do that. I stayed on the skier and I slowed that right down so I wasn't gassed coming off it. Again, I did that. I got a really good run. And ultimately, it led to me being in a really good spot by the time I got to the sled. So I absolutely smashed the sleds. 153 on the sled push. Felt the easiest sled I've ever done. Sled pull, 247. The easiest sled pull I've ever done. Into the burpees, very much maintained it as standard. Row, I kept slow as well on purpose. I wanted to recover, wanted to be running off it well. And then that led on to one of my second fastest farmers carries, lunges at 3 minutes, and then ultimately into wall balls at 3:37 unbroken. And my run total plus rock zone was 33:10, I think. So a really quick run total. But the lesson that I wanted you to take away from this is, one, I wanted to share the footage of Warsaw. I wanted to show you how the race, but I wanted you to take away from it that you don't always have to be in your best place. You just have to do what you said. You have to trust in your training. That's why it's there. If everyone could just turn up on the day and feel fantastic and race, then that's what people would do. But that's not what it's about. So you don't have to feel your best. You don't have to feel amazing. It doesn't have to be the best thing ever. But ultimately, you have to turn up. You have to show up. And actually, even though those things might feel against you, just showing up and being the person that you said you were going to be on the day might bring you a result that you never imagined. So walking away with a 1:18 PB, Hyrox Warsaw, third place, if you'd have offered me that before and said that's what I was going to get, I would have been ecstatic. But I allowed my mood to dictate how I approached that race to an extent. But because I had the training and the experience to hold my strategy, I was still able to perform well in a place where I didn't want to perform. So it's something to really take note of in your training, in your races. It's not always going to be the best. It's not always going to be amazing. You're not always going to feel top of the game, but you can still achieve. You still can be successful. You can still focus on getting the result because you've done the work. So that's what I want you to take away from this, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understand. It's a bit more raw. There's less editing. I'm not trying to vlog. I'm just trying to tell you that do the training, do the work, trust in it, and ultimately you can walk away with the best result you've ever had. So look, I won't go into a race like that again unless there's a problem, in which case we'll do some work on it. But we're next up racing just under 3 weeks at Olympia. We've got a bumper group going down to London, like 22, 23 people racing. Really excited for that. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I've got men's pro up on the Saturday night. We'll take you along for the ride, and I can't wait to share that journey with you. So make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow. Hope you enjoyed the footage, and hopefully you understand a little bit more about kind of what goes on around a race day if you've not raced before, or just also feel a little bit heard, because not every prep is perfect, whether it's 6 weeks out or 6 days out or 6 minutes out. It doesn't have to be perfect to get the results that you want.
We're done with time, 57 minutes, 28 seconds. Travis Brown. From Islands, with time.
Este